Good Thursday morning, everybody. Chris Allen with your weather podcast for this November the 6th. After a rainy day yesterday across southern Kentucky, it was a soaker. We had plenty of locations across the area reporting lots of rainfall, well over an inch of rain in many cases over the past 24 hours. Some of the highest rainfall totals, according to the Kentucky Mesonet Network, Burkesville came in at 1 1/3 inches. Albany came in at 1.18 as far as rainfall. Those were some of the higher amounts. We ended up almost 0.8 of an inch of rain here in Bowling Green and around southern Kentucky, so it was pretty much on the money. Future Max predictor said it would be southern Kentucky that would see the most rain out of yesterday's cold front, and certainly that was the case. Now that front is just a little bit east of us and continuing to move off to the east. We've got another little clipper system that's going to breeze by later today. That could spark a few isolated showers, but mainly north and east of the Bowling Green area. As you travel up I-65, say, well, up toward Hardin County, Breckenridge County, LaRue County. As you get closer to, say, E-Town and Louisville, maybe over toward Lexington and Frankfort, that's going to be the general area. Maybe Danville down to, say, Lebanon and Springfield, through the Bluegrass Parkway region. But other than that, it's just the main impact you're going to see or feel today is the wind. We've already got winds, breezy conditions this morning with winds at 10, 15, already up to 20 miles per hour, but we can have some wind gusts this afternoon up 30 miles per hour. So that is going to be your main weather impact for today. And as we get into next week, there's already a lot of chatter, a lot of scuttlebutt. And I didn't make that word up. That's a word used in the military for rumor or chatter or whatever. It's scuttlebutt. Anyway, there's a lot of that out there about the Arctic plunge that's coming next week. And I'm still waiting to hear if, and I've seen a couple of people on the internet, refer to it as, here comes the polar vortex. Whoa. And they got their the blue colors spilled all over the place. It's, as I mentioned yesterday, if you listen to the podcast, the polar vortex is always there, even in the heat of summer. It sits around the North Pole, and we're only going to get a pinch of it. A little piece of that polar vortex is going to swing down into the area. I can tell you right now, it is going to get bitterly cold next week. Temperatures will be running 15 to 25 degrees below average. In some cases, maybe even close to 30 degrees below average. We've got a technical term for that. It's standard deviation. This is where we take a look at where temperatures ought to be this time of the year per season and in the month of November, and we go, how many standard deviations does it go down from there as far as how intense that little piece of the vortex is. And the polar air is going to be quite significant. So get ready. This may be your call to go get maybe some alternate heat if you need it. We're not talking snow necessarily. We're just talking bitter cold. And it's going to get mighty cold around here as we get on into the middle of next week around this time. All right, well, let's reflect on where we were yesterday with all the rain. 57 was the official high yesterday at the Bowling Green Airport. That happened actually just before midnight. That was our warmest temperature. In fact, it's nice and warm this morning. Temperatures holding steady, and we should hold steady pretty much all day until that next upper little clipper level feature coming in. 54 is the, or 56 is the average. So we were 1 degree above average yesterday. 64 and 41, that's or 64 and 52 are averages for this time of the year. And our low yesterday was 54. So 57, 54, there's only a 3-degree difference between the low temperature yesterday and the high temperature. 1 year ago, we had a high of 68 and a low of 46 back in 2013. As far as the average high, 57, 64 is where we're supposed to be. That's a 7-degree difference. I just wanted to point that out. And at the airport yesterday, as I mentioned, 76 hundredths of an inch of rain officially there. So we're looking okay for the month to date. We're pretty much on pace where we should be. Year to date, we're still okay by about an inch. So as we look at things today, it will be partly cloudy. We're still seeing a few clouds this morning and a full moon as I was coming in. But those breezes, that's going to be your big impact today. Breezy conditions, but the temperatures will hold fairly steady. We're going to go with about 58 for a high temperature today across southern Kentucky in the Bowling Green area. As we get into the afternoon, or 57, I should say. Let me correct that. 57, partly sunny, breezy. There's still that shower chance possible. Best chance north and east of the Bowling Green area, say along the Bluegrass Parkway region, and then those gusty northwest winds. Tonight, mainly clear, colder, 36. Friday, mostly sunny, slightly cooler, a high of 51. As we get into Saturday now, that little system that we were talking about coming in for homecoming, we're pretty much going to take that. With each run of the models, the precipitation chances go down, and we had only a 20% chance of anything happening in our forecast from yesterday. Today, we're going to take that out. There could be a slight chance of a sprinkle, maybe a snow flurry for homecoming on as you go to Western's homecoming Saturday night, but other than that, it's just going to turn cooler. Saturday's high at 55. Sunday, we'll make it back to a mostly sunny but cool 50, 61 Monday. That'll be the warmest of the next 7 days. Tuesday, there is a little better chance of getting some shower activity, rain showers at 56. And that's Veterans Day, by the way, on Tuesday, the 11th. By Tuesday night, though, colder air, the arrival of the Arctic blast, comes in by Tuesday night, and that's when we're going to see temperatures taking a big tumble down into the upper 20s, around 30 degrees. Any leftover precipitation could end as a few snowflakes, but at this point, not a big deal. I think most of that will be gone. Most of the precipitation will be gone by the time the cold air arrives. Wednesday of next week. Now, let's do a comparison here because, again, weather is about impact or potential impact. So as I was saying, next week, Arctic blast coming in. So let's do a comparison here so you can just, apples to oranges. Our average high this time of the year, where we're supposed to be on average, is 64 degrees for a high temperature. The high next Wednesday will be 44. So that's a 20-degree difference. And overnight lows will dip down into the 20s. And possibly we could see a few nights in the teens, especially if skies are clear. Now, I'm just giving you a heads up here by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. Brr. So there you go. It's the Arctic cold that's coming to pretty much the eastern half of the United States and even all the way down to the Gulf Coast. The western half of the country will be warm. We're going to be kind of split in half. It's crazy. But it's November, and this has happened before. Those oscillations that I talked to you about yesterday. All right, that'll do it for this edition of the podcast. God bless as always, and thank you so much for listening. Know the weather before it knows you. Have a great day. I'll see you live at 5:30 on AM Kentucky, streaming live to the WBKO app and to WBKO.com.